welcome to another episode of Curing Confusion. Today we're going to explore a little game entitled Dark Cloud. Never heard of it? Heard of it, loved it, and want me to get on with the review? Well, okay, let's go.
A little history lesson.
Dark Cloud was the debut game of a little company called Level 5. You might know Level 5 from such titles as Rogue Galaxy, Dragon Quest VIII, Journey of the Cursed King, and the Professor Layton series. Fun fact, they actually have a US headquarters only a few blocks away from me. That's pretty neat. Level 5 was established in 1998 by Akihiro Hino as well as a few others. The company combined for a joint effort with Sony Computer Entertainment to produce games for the upcoming PlayStation 2. Their first entry into the PS2 library was a game entitled Dark Cloud. Ooh, good title. Could it be about weather?
The plot.
The premise of Dark Cloud is that you have to rebuild the world. No problem. So the reason the world is kinda destroyed is because of this dark genie. I know! So the genie went around and blew everything up, you know, like genies do, and it's up to you to clean it up. Now the origin of the genie is actually very interesting, and by very interesting, I mean really, really boring. So I'm gonna try and make this entertaining. Here we go. Okay, so 400 years ago, there's a prince whose father passed away. His dad was a king. Sweet. Due to loneliness, he turns to booze, but then he finds a girl named Sophia. 10 seconds later, they're in love and then go to war. No, not with each other, with the wizard from the east. Turns out the wizard is good at wars and kicks the prince's ass. The prince once again turns to drinking. After the first few shots, he turns and sees a dark cloaked figure. He offers him power. He takes it. Laser beams.
Aw, yeah!
The wizard is defeated. The prince returns home. The prince drinks. Sophia barges in, but wait! It's not really Sophia. It's an evil assassin with a vendetta against alcoholics. The real Sophia dies on the knife and saves the prince. Why? We're not really sure. Prince gets pissed, drinks a bottle of Jameson, and creates the dark genie from his anger. Fury, terror, hate, rabbits. A group of bunnies seal the genie away for 400 years. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The bunnies come in, seal the genie in an urn, and problem solved. Because no one's gonna open up that urn, right? Of f***ing course!
Gameplay!
The main goal of the game is to go down in these multi-level dungeons and collect all the Atla that populate these areas. Each Atla is a place or object in the world that has been sealed away to be protected from the Dark Genie's destruction. On top of this, in order to progress within the dungeons, you have to find the key to unlock the next level. This key can vary from a hook to the hands on a clock. The game, while being an RPG, takes an action approach to the combat. As you're wandering the seemingly endless halls of a dungeon, you'll find yourself facing a variety of different enemies. From basic evil wizards to days of the week. Man, some of these names are really creative. Or not creative, I guess? I don't really know. In addition to the dungeon crawling, the fighting, the collecting of Atla, you have to use the Atla to rebuild all the cities in the game that have been destroyed by the genie's destruction. Yeah, all of them. Every single one. It gets boring. Pretty soon you'll realize that the game is actually pretty formulaic. You arrive at a city, or empty lot of land, talk to whoever you find, figure out where the dungeon is, and then go through every single level of the dungeon. Every single level. And these are no short dungeons. We're talking like 15, 17 levels at a time. It's total bull donkey. And like 10 hours later, after you finally get to the last level of the dungeon, get all the Atla, you have to come back and rebuild the city yourself. From scratch. Yeah, you have to rebuild everything. Bull donkey. And after you rebuild these people's homes, they have the gall to ask you for additional things. And not small things like a toaster, we're talking like a new second story to their home. Oh, why not complete that second story with a new breakfast nook? Ass. Okay, I'm a little bit worked up, so I'm just gonna chill out, and we're gonna go to the next section now. Oh, and there's weapon upgrading, you fish for some reason, and check this girl out. Oh yeah, work it. That's what I'm talking about.
Men. Curing the confusion.
Okay, so I like level 5 a lot. I like some of the ideas behind this game. But the real problem for Dark Cloud is its tedium. You're introduced to the dungeon crawling early on in the game, and it really isn't so bad. Kinda fun in a way. Plus, I really enjoyed building my first city. It required creativity as well as strategy when trying to complete everybody's requests. But when you go into the next area, you expect something perhaps a little different or evolved. Nope! It's more or less the same thing as what you've just done. Granted, the area might be different, the method to getting to the bottom of the dungeon might vary, but it's largely the same tedious crap that you've been spending the last 5 hours of the game doing. You arrive at that barren lot with maybe 1 or 2 people left over, they guide you to where you need to spend the next 10 hours of your life tediously punching yourself in the face, and you do it. Punching. Constantly. Around halfway through the levels, you'll usually find an event which leads you to another party member. Now, unlike other RPGs, you can only pull out 1 party member at a time. Because of this, I found that you really only use 2 to 3 characters throughout the entire game. Sorry, Mr. Fat Hunter Dude. You just didn't make the cut. Moving further through the dungeons, you eventually will come to the boss area. The bosses are largely fairly easy. You learn their patterns and exploit them. Not very difficult, challenging, or otherwise. Except for the stupid, god-awful third boss, some Ice Queen lady. No, seriously, she just freezes you over and over and over and over and over and God, I hate you. I hate you, Ice Lady. I hate you so much. And also, another problem with this game is that they tend to give more background to the citizens of a village rather than your own party members. It's really kind of unfortunate because I really would like to see some of the party members fleshed out in this game. Oh well, at least we have what the f*** is that?
Are we done yet?
So 30 hours later, we've rebuilt the towns, responded to every request these citizens have, and even made it up to the moon where we built a gigantic robot. I seriously can't make this shit up. It's time to take this Pacific Rim knockoff and kick some Genie booty. Whoa, impressive. Kick in the face, bitch! Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Oh! And you get the point. Okay, so it's eventually revealed that the Genie is not the big scary fat guy you'd expect him to be. That guy was rather a mouse. Okay. So the Genie is actually revealed to be Mr. Beefy Devil Man. How charming. Well, behold your horses. Before we get to fight said Beefy Devil Man, we have to go back 400 years in time. Oh goody, more time travel. I'm sure that will end well. So the last dungeon is disguised in a way where it seems like you're traveling back in time to the genesis of the evil Genie. But in reality, it's the same crap that you've been doing all game. You collect the Atla, which in this case are memories instead of actual items, get the key, and that's it. More of the freaking same. And so you finally get to the end boss, the Dark Genie. He may look intimidating, but trust me, he's a pansy, like all of them. Bull donkey. You beat him pretty much the same way you do every other boss. You learn his pattern, and you exploit it. It's very boring. Did I say that yet? Yeah, it's very, very boring. And well, blammo! You beat him. Fun. So apparently the whole point of going back in time was to save Sophia, thus stopping the Genie's genesis, and, you know, I don't give a f*** anymore. Is there even a good ending to this game? F*** you.
Confusion cured. You've earned absolutely nothing.
Well, there you have it, Dark Cloud. Now, I know I sounded pretty negative in this review, and while I do think the game has some major flaws, it's okay overall. Like I said before, the city building is actually pretty fun, and the combat's pretty bearable for the first few hours. But once again, the tedium is what kills this game. I've heard that the sequel to the game is actually a lot better, but that remains to be seen. Maybe in the future? Well, that about wraps it up here on the 3rd episode of Curing Confusion. I hope to see you next time, and I'll see you soon.